Hey everyone, welcome back to Hazel Lucia Tarot. I'm Stephanie and I have 4 piles here for you today. And our theme for today is going to be, what are your psychic abilities? So everybody has some sort of intuitive gifts or psychic abilities, or we have the potential to develop these. And in this reading, I'm going to see exactly what it is you are naturally gifted with, what you have the potential to develop, as well as how you can better hone these skills. We're going to have 4 piles for you to choose from. We have pile 1 with the dragon stone, pile 2 with rose quartz, pile 3 with the raw emerald, and pile 4 with a clear quartz point. So take a moment to choose your pile and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the dragon stone or dragon egg, I'm not exactly sure what they call it. I just know it's got dragon in it somewhere. This is your reading. This is a card that I watercolored, and it's just 2 roses in this mauve, pinkish, purplyish color. But this is going to be your psychic ability reading. I have some oracles to tap into your energy to see what kind of person you are and what it is exactly that your abilities may be, whether it's something that you're naturally born with or something you can really tap into. If it doesn't resonate, we do have 3 other piles. However, I encourage you to come into this with an open mind, because perhaps there's an ability you have that you didn't think you could pursue, or something that maybe you're not seeing. Maybe it was an interest that you think, oh, well, I could never do that, but you may have that inclination if you really developed it and trained it. But we're going to start with oracles and then dive into the tarot to see how you can better use these abilities or train them, and then we're going to close off with some advice, kind of how I've been doing most of my readings lately. So we're going to start with the Starborn, Fish, White Witch, Be the Light, Healing Earth, the power to give and receive healing, Clematis, that's 22, so if that's a number of importance, take that if it resonates. And Solar Flares, Activate. And we have 2 ritual cards, Rose, Beauty, Perfection Goddess, and Blue Candle, Peace, Respite, Psychic Protection. All right, so I'm getting the feeling that you're probably a light worker, pile 1. Whether you already do this or whether it's something that you've been interested in. I get the feeling you probably already do this, whether you realize it or not. This is when you draw light in to heal yourself and others, or maybe a situation. I get the feeling that a lot of people who work with spirituality do this regardless. I know even in like any form of religion, prayer, a lot of people call in white light. So these are very basic fundamentals, and you probably work with this a lot more regardless of your spiritual background. You may be a Pisces, but you could also come from a Christian background, because I know the fish is very important in Christianity. With solar flares, yeah, a lot of light work. You draw light down as both a protective energy and as an energy to really make stuff work out for you. I'm getting that sense of manifestation. I'm getting that sense of changing up the atmosphere. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where maybe the energy is really heavy or tense, or maybe you're surrounded by people who are just not in the best of energy. You work with energies very closely, pile 1. I'm feeling that very, very strongly. But whenever you're around certain people that are just negative energy or have, just not the best intentions, you draw the light and kind of either switch the situation to be something more lighthearted, or maybe they, go away because they cannot handle that high vibration that you bring to the atmosphere, to your surroundings. You may have come from a Christian background, but then decided to take a more pagan or a more secular path. And that's very common. I think a lot of us turn away from organized religion just because it does not. There's a lot of systemic programs in place in organized religion that just does not benefit modern day people, I feel, or it's not very accepting of certain roles or people, or it's just very, I don't know, very patriarchal, very, very restricting. And right now I'm feeling like a very tense energy in my heart. So I get the sense that it disempowered you and it made you feel very, very guilty. Maybe it was anxiety inducing because now my heart is beating super fast. And I'm just taking a deep breath because this isn't, I feel for you so much, pile one. You were probably not in the best environment when you did get into your first foray into religion or spirituality, but you've retained a bit of that. You've retained the things that you know have always been true, like there is a higher power, there is a bigger meaning to the universe, and that there is a light out there that loves you and wants you to prosper and thrive. And I'm getting that very, very strongly from this. I'm also seeing a lot of blue and pink. So maybe you did come from a background where gender roles were just like women did this, men did that. It was very strict. It was very, very traditional. You were very much expected to be a certain way, but you decided to reject these things. You've decided that no, I very much want to be this way and that, and I expect my partner to be this or that. You very much just decided that that was not for you, essentially. And I'm not bashing any organized religion. I think it can be a great groundwork for people in their spirituality. And I know there are people in every religion who do practice it with a lot of heart and with a lot of love. So just like with anything, there'll be negative aspects and positive aspects. But this was not for you. You came from that background and it was not for you. So you've decided, you probably took a more nature-loving aspect to this, because we see the White Witch and she's just got like a moth in her hair, the leaves, this owl, and even in the Healing Earth card, she's up against a tree. You may be a tree hugger. But you probably really embraced nature, and maybe you decided to make nature your temple. I've heard that a lot, that people feel a lot more in tune with God or the divine when they're out in nature than they would ever be in, say, a church or an actual temple. You may also reinvigorate yourself in nature. You may hike a lot, or maybe just go out for walks. You probably work with candles a lot. So I am getting a little bit of Wicca, maybe witchcraft, maybe at least some rituals that are similar to that. But nothing negative. I don't get anything negative from this. You probably work a lot with white magic, the positive. It's like you're very aware of the dark and you do not want to go that way. You rejected this notion that witches are evil and that there are some very earthy, lovely nature inspired witches out there. It takes us if this resonates. If not, then do not worry. You can work with candles even though you're not into paganism, because candles are used in every religion and every spiritual factor, of course. I'm going to read a little bit of this card. This is 22. You may be a life path 22, and that's a healer number. Anytime you have a life path, I think it's 11, 22, 33, which I am. These are numbers of master healers. At least that's what I've been told. Even if you're not this number, you still very much have the capability to be a healer. But let me get the book for this deck, which I love, by the way. It's the Seed and Sickle Oracle, and it's lovely, but it can be kind of hard to remember all the meanings just because it actually has 2 guidebooks. So I'm going to choose the Dawn guidebook as opposed to the Dusk. And oh, I opened right to it. I'll leave it up here to see if you can read it, maybe take a snapshot. I know my camera is low quality, so you may have a hard time reading this, but I'm working on it. I'm still very new to YouTube. The clematis grows across any surface it is given, eager to rise and reach towards the blazing summer sun. Its spiraling vines grab onto any opportunity that appears, putting its flowers in the best position to drink in the rain and warmth. This card symbolizes movement and momentum, a push towards the best position that will help you achieve your goal. Just be sure to remember those who held you up on your race to the finish. So I get the feeling that you could make a living out of this, or at the very least, you are very much enjoying living in this light worker, energy healer energy. If for some reason this doesn't resonate, I would try this on one day, like maybe do a prayer or a meditation and just really find your quiet space and then draw the light down and see how you feel. It's funny. I know sometimes it can feel like it doesn't do anything besides make you a little quiet and peaceful. But there have been times where I've literally taken my hands, because I do this as well. I've taken my hands, brought light to maybe somewhere where there's pain, or an area in my house that just felt, a little bit off, a little gunky or something, energetically, not physically. And you just bring light and it'll clear something out, or it'll make the pain disperse, even if just a little bit. You really do need to believe in the power of the light, because when we're divinely connected, we realize that we're not meant to suffer. And maybe you've noticed this in having come from a background that did make you suffer, like perhaps you were going to church or temple or something, and you realized that when you were in that space, you just felt awful, and you're like, well, this is supposed to be, the house of God or something. Why am I feeling this way? And somewhere something clicked and you realized, yeah, we're still not meant to suffer, but this is not the way to go about it. Even if you still are going to church for whatever reason, it could just be a community or a family thing. I'm aware some people do go to these functions out of respect for their culture and their family, and not so much because they actually follow that organized religion. You still very much bring that healing with you. Like maybe you allow the church or the temple to be your place of quiet and meditation, despite the fact that you may not really follow it the way they tell you to, because in the end, our connection with spirit is our own business. Like it's nobody else's business but our own. Nobody can tell us how to have this connection. We may be told how to better have a connection, or use different methods of how to connect with the divine to better help us live our fullest and best lives, but no one can really force you to do these things. This is all in your heart. This is all in your energy, in your mind. This is, the most private connection we'll have with something. What else am I getting from this? My beautiful pile one. I'm going to read a bit on the Starborn, because I got this card in another reading, not this reading, but I'm feeling called to read up on it. Because I may be missing something very vital in that card if it keeps popping up. And that's a number 3. And just for those who are into numerology and want to know, we have a 3, a 46, 22, and a 17. So, Starborn. The divine child, the star child, the destined. The Starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than as a series of logistics. Read the story of the three fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique destiny. So yeah, I get the sense you know you were kind of destined to bring some healing to the world and to others with this gift that you have. And it's funny that it's about going back to your childhood, because as I said, you probably come from an organized, a background of organized religion somehow instilled in you. And though I'm mostly seeing Christianity or Catholicism, it could be any of them. It could be whatever the main religion in your area, in your country, in your culture was. And even if you didn't have one, perhaps you were always just taught to bring light into the world. Maybe your form of prayer was always just, just envision light. Because I feel that's the same in any religion. It's not begging a higher power for mercy. It's not, hoping that, it's not from a place of fear that this prayer and this meditation should be coming from. It should be coming from the heart and from a sense of love. That's what I'm getting from the rose. You may also worship goddesses. Maybe you really wanted to reject that patriarchal way of looking at deities and decided to embrace goddesses. There's a lot of blue, so you may be very vocal about this. You may use your voice to really bring about some sense of healing. If this isn't something that's resonating with you, this could be something that you could do, because even as I'm saying this, my voice is clearing up really, really well. And I'm known for having sore throats and dry throats and all kinds of problems with my throats. That's just my own stuff. But even as I pointed it out, I'm finding the words to better and clearly say these things. But let's move on to the tarot to see how you can better hone these skills. Maybe find out a little bit more about what it is, what your psychic ability is, or your intuitive gifts. But so far, it's very lovely. And I am feeling a very calm and peaceful presence. So we're going to start with the star, the Empress. Ooh, we have 3 here again. 3 might be another significant number for you. 5 of Cups, the Fool, 6 of Pentacles, and Knight of Swords. So we have a lot of purple. You probably do have psychic gifts as well. You may foresee things before they happen. And 17 again. There was a 17 in the previous pile. So again, 17 may be an important number for you. Or 8, because 1 plus 7 reduces to 8 in numerology. We're going to clarify this with the Modern Witch Tarot. And I am realizing that I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot. So yeah, maybe you're into Wicca or consider yourself some type of witch. And this is not anything negative. Because this is some very light energy I'm feeling. Alright, so to clarify the star, 5 of Swords, the World for the Empress. 9 of Wands. Oh, let me cover this up, because I don't want my videos taken down. To clarify the Fool, the Hierophant. To clarify 6 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, and to clarify Knight of Swords, the Tower. Yeah, so you've been through it. You've probably gone through maybe trying to express to your family or to your friends or to those close to you what it is you do. And they did not take it well. With the Tower and the 10 of Swords, this kind of brought you down. But you stood your ground. You very much decided to stay with this very you decided to stay true to yourself and just embrace the light, embrace your spirituality in the way that you can better practice it, because you know that you're supposed to bring some sort of healing to the world with a star. In this reading, in this sense, I'm getting more, it's a card of hope, but in this sense, it's just that light that you're radiating because you are a light worker. Just look how that star shines, and it looks a little smug, a little happy, because it's like, you can't tell me anything. I know what I'm doing is right, and I know that I'm bringing healing through practicing my spirituality the way that I know is going to benefit me and everybody else. With the Five of Swords here, it just looks like you probably lost some friends or some people, some connections through embracing this, because I'm seeing you as this this person, and just how much they actually look happy to have maybe cut ties with some people that just were not serving them. Maybe these were people who claimed to be of a certain religion, but you realize that their actions and their words were just in no way in line with what it is that they claim to be. And this is very common. I think we've all been to a church where you have just toxic people, and they're going on and on about worshiping God and being of God, but really they're very unkind and just mean-spirited. And it's like, how can you be that way when this is nothing of what this book is teaching you? So it was probably that kind of situation, and you may have felt hurt, but you kind of saw that it wasn't that big a loss, because you don't want people like that in your life anyway. That's what I'm getting with the Empress in the world, this sense of satisfaction. And even both of these characters are looking over here, all three of them. They're looking at the things they've lost and realize it's actually nothing compared to everything that I've gained. With the Five of Cups, you may have wallowed in this a little bit. We do have 2 5s, so maybe 5 is another important number for you. I'm really calling out the numbers for you, pile 1. I'm getting a sense you probably also work with numerology, or at the very least are interested in it. With the Five of Cups here, you may have wallowed in it for quite a bit. You probably let it get you down. But you, like I said, you stood your ground. You stood for what you believed in. And in this case, it was that you didn't need to follow conventional religion in order to be a great source of light, in order to be an inspiration, and in order to be a good person. You probably feel a better person having left whatever it is you left behind. And again, I'm not bashing churches or religions, because you have good and bad people in them. You know, people are still human, and not everybody gets the message right away. Not everybody they can go to all these sermons or masses or whatever, and it may not click to them that, hey, we're supposed to love everybody and judge nobody. But moving on, you probably took learning everything you learned kind of alone. You kind of went in with an open heart, without any... The Hierophant here I'm taking as learning, because the Hierophant in more traditional tarot is like the Pope, but here it's a woman. So you definitely embrace that divine feminine. Maybe your specific religion or culture is very much not very nice towards women. I know I come from a Catholic background, and I would go to certain masses and they would just say certain things, and I'm just like, that were very, not degrading, but definitely not very nice towards women, specifically those that like to go out and party or to dress a certain way. And I was not there for that. And it happened to be one of the very few occasions that I did go, because I don't go that often. I will go with families for certain events, or if there's like a ceremony, like a wedding or a baptism, that sort of thing, because it is very much a celebration, and and it feels disrespectful to not go. But you've definitely embraced a spirituality that empowered you in this modern day, in this modern age, and for the kind of person you are. And with the Fool here, you went in blindly. You kind of went in with an open heart, because this flamingo just looks so happy and so loving. With the Six of Pentacles, this talks about a give and take, And I think people were not willing to listen to you, or they were not willing to be reasonable about how it was that you wanted to go about your spirituality. But I get the sense that you kind of took what you could and left behind what didn't serve you. Because the Six of Pentacles is usually about a give and take, but in this case, it's more of a... Well, I'm also getting another thing. You took the good things from your spiritual upbringing, your religious upbringing. You took what was good, which is, you know, prayer and being in solitude with your divine, with your higher power. You definitely still carry that within you. But you left behind all the patriarchal stuff, anything that, you know, damned people, anything that judged people for being different or somehow not aligned with certain things. You left that behind and took only the good. I'm also getting the feeling that if you do decide to pursue maybe a career in this, maybe as an energetic healer, as a Reiki master, you could profit from it as well, because people are willing to have a personal coach, a spiritual coach, guide them this way. Maybe especially because you were alone when you started this journey. With the Knight of Swords, yeah, this may have come out of nowhere, your decision to break away. There was probably a pivotal moment in your life that made you really question what it was that you came from, your upbringing. Sorry, I'm thinking right now. But the Knight of Swords is a messenger, and maybe it was a spiritual awakening. Maybe you saw angels one day. Maybe you had a dream of something divine coming towards you saying, hey, you have a calling in life, and it changed your world upside down, really. It came unexpectedly because it made you had to readjust your perspective on things. It made you, I get the sense you really came into this, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but it struck you very, very profoundly. And yeah, you have no regrets. This is the energy you are in. As far as other psychic abilities, right now it's mostly the light work that you do, the Reiki, the energy healing. But you could also be a teacher. Like I said, you could be a life coach. You could be somebody who heals others. I'm getting that with the Hierophant and the Empress and the Star. You could also channel divine guidance for others with the Knight of Swords. And you may be there for people whenever they are in distress. I'm also getting that with the Tower. Maybe you help them through things, and maybe you kind of remind them that, hey, we are all light beings and the universe is there to support us. And that's all I'm getting from the Tarot Pile 1. Let's move on to some advice cards and see anything else that you could possibly may want to develop. Because even without this reading, I can tell you whatever it is you want to hone your skill on, you probably already have the means to do so. Light work, I think, is one of the more founding aspects of spirituality. And if you can work with this, you could probably work with anything. Because I'm not going to say that's how I started. I started with astrology, and I took that more as a tool, but I didn't add spirituality to that until much later. Now we have some Kuan Yin cards, and Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion or the goddess of mercy, depending on where you're from. We have Dance of the Butterfly Queen. Oh, it's beautiful. And the dance unveiling. You may love to dance, or maybe you danced when you were younger. And Spirit is saying that you can draw energy down when you dance. I consider dance to be very spiritual sometimes, which is funny because I think that's not something a lot of people think of. They may think of dance as something more fun, maybe something sensual. But there have been times when I've danced and I just feel like there is energy flowing through me and it's calling me to move in certain ways. Much like how yoga can really bring light into your body and disperse energies, maybe through dance you also release energies or release negative energies that are no longer serving you because you're calling back power over your body. And in that same line of thinking, maybe look at people who don't like to dance. Those people may like to hold on to their negativity or their aches, their pains. I've noticed that because I've had people that are no longer in my life who hated dancing, and of course they always had something going on with their body. But we also have some messages from the universe. Has your back. I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose again. I choose love. When I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. That's funny. These two feel like they're connected because they're both that same shade of purple, this purpley pinkish almost with a bit of red. Another thing, this was actually, it still is my phone background, and this was before I even found out about this deck. I found this online because I wanted a divine symbol that I would always see, and I could not find like a good statue of anything, but I found this picture and I thought it was so beautiful. So Kuan Yin is actually very important to me. It's part of the reason I have this deck. And maybe you were also looking for some form of divine symbology that was something that you did not grow up with, because sometimes the images we grow up with have a whole different energy. It brings to mind other things. For example, like I said, I grew up Catholic, and specifically Mexican Catholic. We have the Virgin Mary, La Virgen de Guadalupe, and that could have been something I had, but I knew I would hold too much energy from having grown up in that environment, which wasn't always positive. So I decided not to have that, just to not have that energy around me. So instead I went with something I was not familiar with, but that still resonated with me. And in some cultures, she's actually her counterpart. This is considered her counterpart in parts of East Asia, because sometimes she's depicted with a child. So something similar, but not quite. And maybe this is spirit telling you, maybe find something besides, whatever the symbol for your, for whatever religion you grew up with. Find a sign that is similar, but different, so that you can have your own perspective on it, your own spin on it, that inspires you. So that's what I'm getting with this. I'm also, again, with the dance. Yeah, just learn to move your body. You may be called to do some yoga. You may be called to, because when we do yoga, we're bringing light into our body. If you already do yoga but haven't had that, you haven't tried bringing light in as you do yoga, try it. It really makes the experience that much more profound. When I started doing that, I started healing my body very quickly. You may end up being a yoga instructor if you do get really into it and if you feel confident enough with it. But you can really heal the body through practices like this, or maybe something like Tai Chi, a martial arts, or just dance, even a Zumba class. Sometimes I do some Zumba or something to that nature, and I'll feel reinvigorated and healed. Because through movement of the body, we heal our physical selves, but we can also heal our inner selves. They're intertwined. Butterflies may be important to you. It's definitely a sign of your transformation. With these two cards over here, I get the sense that there may be living in fear, acting out of fear. And this is just reminding you to, whenever I feel scared, or whenever I feel or start to feel that ungroundedness, I just radiate light from my heart and I just shine it out. And I know that whatever is there, whatever is making me feel drained or negative, it'll disperse and go away, because it has no choice but to do so. Especially in this card, because look how white it is now. It's like you radiated that light, and now the fear is tiny and you're in control of it. And your peace cannot be disrupted. So maybe this is also a message to really protect your peace and protect that which keeps you in your safe, sacred space. But this is all I have for you today, Pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I wish you nothing but love and blessings in your journey, in your spiritual journey. If you like this video, if you like this reading, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, Pile 2. If you chose the rose quartz with this lovely forest watercolor that I did, and this is your reading, we're going to on what your psychic abilities are. So we're going to start with some oracle cards to see exactly what it is that you have innately, maybe any abilities that you just naturally were born with, anything you have the potential to improve, or anything that maybe you should really tap into. If none of this resonates, we do have 3 other piles, but I encourage you to come into this with an open mind, because there could be certain things that you thought you could not do, or that it never really occurred to you you could do. So yeah, just have fun with this. And we're going to start with the River, 34. I'm trying to remember my Roman numerals. Golden Egg. High Priest, Intent and Create. Go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, receiving. Clover. These are lovely cards. First House, Arrival. And then you got 3 ritual cards. I only meant to have 2 for each pile, but we have Clove again. I wonder if clove is of importance to you. I'm wondering if you burn it, or if you smoke clove cigarettes, or I don't know, something to do with. I don't even know if clove and clover are the same thing. I'll look that up. Waning Crescent, Acceptance, Allowance, Evolution. And Wunjo, Joy, Optimism, Celebration. Okay, so I'm getting a few things. Let me just name these numbers in case you need them. 34, 25, 39, and 19. So I get the sense that you probably do some ritual work. You probably burn a lot of incense. You probably are really good at cleansing a space, cleansing your energy. I am getting a lot of shamanistic energy from this. I'm also getting somebody who knows how to deal with negative entities, negative energies, and ghosts. Those who have passed on, just because I think of that whenever I think of Egyptian, ancient Egypt, because they were very obsessed with the afterlife, due to all the deities they had, and as well as mummification. So I'm getting a sense you do some form of house clearings, house cleansings, or cleansings on yourself. Even, you know what this is reminding me of? Like, this guy is banishing something, and then there's this person behind him going like, is it gone? So you may do this for other people. You may, like, maybe you have friends and you're the person they go to, they're like, hey, I think there's something sketchy going on. And now I'm thinking of Scooby-Doo, so maybe that's something that resonates with you. Like, you find out what is going on in your environment and you vanquish it. You vanquish it. Pile 2. With the first house, you're probably well known for this. I really do get the sense that you are somebody people go to for certain things. I'm not really getting spell work, but I am getting like banishment rituals. Maybe this is like a niche you have. Maybe this is yeah, maybe you grew up seeing ghosts or negative energies or any kind of that situation. I do get the sense that you grew up knowing very well that they were there. Maybe your family was also that way. Maybe you come from a long line of healers. Because I am getting, I don't want to say witchcraft, but I am getting rituals. So maybe like hoodoo or voodoo, I can't remember which one it is that has like the tinctures and the oils, or yeah, just a shamanistic background that they probably passed on to you. And if not, maybe it is in your family and they just don't speak about it, but you definitely have a knack for this. Like if you just tap into yourself and ask yourself, okay, what do I do to get rid of this energy? You start busting out, you know, the incenses that you need. Maybe there's some clove, maybe it's a candle, incense. Maybe you just bring light into it, especially with this golden egg. I'm thinking of somebody who already works with light. I'm going to be reading some of these just because not a lot is sticking out to me from some of these cards. But with waning crescent, excuse me, this is when the moon is getting darker, when it's going into the new moon. And I always associate that with things leaving. I always associate that with things getting brushed out of our lives. And in this case, it's probably negative energies. You probably help people decord a lot. You probably protect your energy by really keeping your boundaries up and decording from people, letting those who just are really harmful, you let them go. But you're actually a very loving and positive individual, because even though there is this very grounded protective energy, and you are very grounded, pile 2, there is a sense of love here. It's like you know how to get rid of certain things because you come from a place of love and you come from a place of confidence. I'm getting that with the first house. First house is the house of identity, of how people perceive you, of your looks, and how you go about presenting yourself in the world. It's also where the descendant will be. You may have a very significant placement in your first house, pile 2. And with arrival, I really get the feeling that you were put on this earth to just rid the world of negativity, rid the world of that which is harming it, rid the world of that which really brings us down. You get people out of their negative energy and bring in nothing but positive energy. I am going to read, I'm going to start with the river. Number 34. So yeah, if you do have a background of like shamans or shamanistic, I'm also getting African ancestry because Egypt is in Africa. And even this lady looks of African heritage, African American heritage. So if that resonates, let me know. And you don't have to be. I mean, all cultures have their shamanistic backgrounds. For example, I'm Mexican, and in Mexico you do have shamans. You do have those indigenous peoples who still practice their rituals. But it's still a very Catholic country, so they combine both of those. And that may also be the case for you. Maybe your church is still very open to some of those practices. So I have seen that. Sorry if I'm taking my time with this, but I always have a hard time finding the cards for this. This is the archetype deck. Okay, the river, the stream, the flow, the current. There is a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied in the physical form. Without asking anything in return, the river washes away anything that is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. Yeah, I am getting a sense that you probably do get rid of negative energies. It may be with water. You probably use whatever element you need to get rid of what it is you need to get rid of. Just because I know that's one way that you tune in to what needs to be done. And you probably have a very strong intuition about these things anyway. Like you may not have great intuition in like, I don't know, your love life, whatever, money. But when it comes to this, it's like something clicks and you become you start calling upon your ancestors to help you get rid of certain things. And that's a very cool power, pile 2. Again, like I said, if this doesn't resonate, I would do some research in your family. I would try this. Maybe go into a room and maybe it feels musty. Maybe there's some dark energy there, and just start practicing this. Maybe burn some incense, burn something, and you may find yourself knowing how to do it without really thinking about it. That's how you know you have an innate ability to do this, because we are born with abilities to do certain things. And then I'm going to read up on clover from the Seed and Sickle Oracle, which I'm guessing is not the same as clove. I may have to Google that. I feel silly having said that now. Or the name clove may be important. Or like I said, you may smoke clove cigarettes, but clover. The appearance of clover in late spring is sudden and enthusiastic, filling a field in what can seem like the blink of an eye. A core food source for herbivores and pollinators alike. It is a plant of provision and giving. It's easy to get carried away with this exciting bounty of energy. Don't rush into it. Use your judgment to know where to stop. I'm going to look at some keywords for this as well. Creativity, abundance, potential for overexcitement. So maybe you just have a knack for like really sniffing out negative energies that need to leave the space. You probably know when there's something that's going on that doesn't need to be going on, and you have the ability to get rid of this. If you don't use incenses or ritualistic things, you may just know how to protect yourself divinely from it, or how to get rid of it. And in that same context, you probably know how to get rid of people who are just harmful to you and who are harmful to your energy. Because with clove here, honesty, authority, defense, yeah, you don't put up with a lot. You don't put up with any crap, pile 2, and that's a very admirable quality, and I applaud you for it. But this doesn't make you a mean, negative person. I get the sense you're a very joyful, happy person. I'm not exactly sure what your sign is, but I just get the sense it's very happy, but it's also like not putting up with any crap, any negativity, anything that is going to harm anybody. And it's I love this energy. You're a pretty awesome person, pile 2. I'm also going to read up on the golden egg. I know this is a card of spirituality in the spirit animal deck, and I kind of feel like it's not fair because an egg is not an animal, but let's hear it out. There's actually several eggs in this deck, but they all have to do with spirit. And yes, you are very much connected to spirit, pile 2. Message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga nidra or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. So you may really need to learn how to develop a more structured spiritual practice. I don't know whether you meditate or not, but if you don't, this card is really calling you to do so, to tap into your energy. I get the sense you don't work with chakras, actually, because I was going to say tap into your crown chakra, but I'm like, wait, I think you just work with energy in general. So spirit is asking you to really develop a meditative practice, maybe a prayer practice, something where you can really focus on yourself. If you already don't, if you don't have this, if you already do, great, you're doing a good job. But if you don't, develop that spiritual practice for yourself to really cleanse yourself of any negative entities, which you probably already do, to cleanse yourself of other people's energies, to just really be in one with the light, in one with spirit, with your higher power, with your divine guidance. Because I get the sense that you're not always in this. It's like you're only there when you're feeling called to, but spirit wants you to be there a lot more often, just to really improve your life. Yeah, a lot of heart chakra energy. You may need to really come from a place of the heart more if you already don't. I get the feeling you do. Just because these social boundaries that you put up, that's what I want to call them, because you don't allow people with that negative energy, with that negative juju. You're like, stay away, and you keep them away. Because you probably had to deal with that a lot. But there's definitely a need to be more in one with your spiritual energy. Again, if you already aren't, maybe meditate a little more, maybe pray a little more. Something to really get you in that feel-good energy. Maybe just because you're always surrounded by negativity, you kind of need to remind yourself to really, really embrace the joy. Yeah, the joy, the optimism, that feel-good energy. So we're going to move on to the tarot to see how you can better put these into practice. Again, if this is not resonating, I would really encourage you to look into this. Because you probably have a knack for getting rid of negative energies, and that's such a big, it's an important skill, an important tool, and I think a lot of people do not really appreciate it until they like move into a haunted house. It's funny because I was talking about haunted spaces and haunted houses with my boyfriend earlier, but regardless, we have the King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. I was getting Queen of Wands energy from the oracles pile too. The Magician, yeah. Another word for the Magician would be the Shaman. Three of Cups and Strength. I'm getting a sense that you have a big social circle pile too. You probably have a lot of people around you. You probably also are very wary of the people you let in and out of your social circle. Like, you do not do drama. You do not do unnecessary drama. You don't put up with people who are here to just bring negativity. You get rid of them right away because you're like this little lizard here. You want to be in that space of love all the time. These are all lovely, by the way, pile 2. I get the feeling that if you and I met, we'd be good friends because you definitely are very spiritual and you're definitely in that space a lot more than you lead on. Oh shit. I'm sorry. So we're going to clarify it with the Modern Witch Tarot. Sorry, this deck is very slippery, which is great for shuffling, but I have small hands and this deck is a thick boy. But to clarify the King of Pentacles, we have Ace of Cups. To clarify the Ace of Pentacles, Justice. Yeah, I was getting Justice vibes from you. To clarify the Queen of Wands, we have the World, and let me block this because YouTube does not allow nudity, but something tells me you're probably okay with nudity, pile 2. I don't know why that comes through. I'm getting Sagittarius energy from you, so just because I know so many Sagittariuses, so I'm familiar with that energy. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Knight of Swords. And the Emperor. You are someone who is large and in charge, pile 2. I am loving this energy just because we have the King, the Queen, we have the Emperor, we have Strength here. I'm getting Leo energy. So yeah, lots of fire energy. But let's I want to see the back of the deck energy for Pentacles. Just because I get the sense that there are certain things that you might have trouble letting go. Maybe it's when people just bring in that negativity or they try to start something with you. You let it bother you a little bit more than you should. And really, you shouldn't, because you're far too powerful and you're far too enlightened. You're too much of a... You take the high road. You are an enlightened individual and you do not owe these people anything. With the Knight of Pentacles, you're very grounded. You very much know how to be in that space of... With these two, actually, we have the Ace and the King, and it's like the first and the last card of Pentacles. So super grounded energy. You know how to take control of a situation. You know you're very in tune with your body and with the energies around you. With the Ace of Cups, this probably opens up a lot of friendships for you. People may meet you and they want to befriend you right away. I know I do. Like, if I met you, I want to be friends with you, and I don't make friends easily. But yeah, I'm getting a sense that you come from a heart space because the green is heart chakra, and I'm getting that a lot. I'm also getting these cups. These are probably two of the more loving, oh, three of the more loving of the cup suits. Oh, that's not fair. No, yeah, it is. But these are just very lovely cups cards. So you're emotional, but you like to feel like all the good emotions. You love to feel the love, the appreciation, you like to wish people well-being. You're just such a positive person, pile 2. So it's kind of surprising that you may have that ability to just snuff out anything negative, anything low vibe. You get rid of it. With justice, you have a good sense of morals. You have a good head on your shoulders, but you know what is right and what is wrong. And you've probably had this for a while. Nobody can tell you. You don't do shady energy at all. You know what's right and wrong. You have a good sense of right and wrong. And this is probably why you're able to sense negative energy, because when you know something's not in alignment with the divine, or when you know something is not of a higher vibration, you sense it right away and you don't want anything to do with it. With the Queen of Wands, you're able to call what you want into action through the ways of nurturing. So yeah, and you get a sense of fulfillment from this. Whenever you are able to take control and just get rid of that which doesn't benefit anybody, which is bad for the environment, including yourself, your space, other people, you feel at one with your connection. And again, this is probably why Spirit is asking you to meditate more, maybe so you don't just have to feel that whenever you're doing what you do, but to also just always be in that space. Allow yourself to be blessed by the light. With the Magician and the Knight of Cups, you, like I said, you make friends very easily, but you also stand up for people. The Magician is a shaman, and you have the ability to do whatever you want. If there's any other psychic ability or pursuit you are interested in, you can go into it knowing that you will be successful in it. Quite frankly, pile 2. You also have a lot of ancestors. I'm not reading the cards. This is just what I'm feeling right now. You have a lot of ancestors that help you. I'm thinking of that scene in Black Panther where he goes into the ancestral realm. Is that what it was called? And he sees his father, but he also sees like all the Black Panthers from the past and all his family and everything. I'm getting that feeling that you have very strong ancestors and they're always working for you. They're rooting for you and they love you. That's also what I'm getting with the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups is somebody who loves you and who wants to tell you all the time that they adore you and that you're awesome. So that's what I'm getting with this. But I'm also getting the 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is a party card for me. So you probably have a lot of gatherings, probably have a lot of friends. But whenever someone comes in to start something with you, because this Knight of Swords looks very aggressive. Like they're about to strike this person down and you come in here with your cup like, no, this is not happening. You need to leave. You're probably that person who tells people that they're acting out of line. And you're not afraid to say it, because I'm getting such just boss energy, especially with the Emperor and the Strength and the Queen of Wands. You're a force to be reckoned with, pile 2, and you're pretty awesome. You might be a Leo. Like I said, you might have a combination of fire and earth placements. This is Libra. The world is all the fixed signs, so Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. The Magician is Mercury. I don't think it has a sign, but I associate it with a strong Mercury. And you probably have this because a strong Mercury allows you to communicate better. And Aries with the Emperor, or Scorpio, again, it's Mars. But yeah, I think the only thing you really need to work on is letting go of that which bothers you. Like maybe sometimes you get into arguments with somebody, either a friend of a friend or something, and you let it bother you more than it should. Again, like I said, don't do that. Don't waste your energy on them. Just, again, banish them like you banish everything else that is not good for your life. Gosh, I love this energy, by the way. You're very sure of yourself, and I'm channeling this so profoundly. And you're an awesome person, pile 2. I don't know. I love you, sending you so much love. But let's get on to your advice cards and finish off this reading. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of very happy, positive vibes. That's why I'm thinking Sagittarius, or maybe Sagittarius placements. But any kind of fire placements work as well. Let me know in the comments what your sign is if you chose this tile, because I'm curious to know whether you have that background, because I would have never thought to channel that. We have the universe has your back cards for some words of guidance from the universe. Instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. Yeah, I get the sense you do that just because you're very much a person of bringing a positive energy and positive space. I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. Yeah, unapologetic is a very good word. Like whatever you believe in, and because of your high sense of morals, you defend. And then I have the ritual, or I had the ritual deck. Where'd it go? No, not the ritual deck. Where are my cards? Okay, this is embarrassing. The Kuan Yin Oracle. There we go. I was freaking out for a minute. Okay. Kuan Yin is the goddess of mercy or the goddess of compassion, depending on where she is being worshipped. And I don't get the sense that you work with a lot of gods and goddesses. You work with energy and you work with your tools. But let's see what she's got to say anyway. Daughter of the Phoenix. Yeah. Scorpio vibes here. That's a number 6. So 6 is a number of the healer. My number does reduce to 6 because I'm a 33, but it can also be a 6. So this is somebody who's social, somebody who heals, and that all sounds very much like you, Pile. 2, and Sacred River Yangtze, which I am going to read up on because I'm not exactly sure what to make out of that. But with Daughter of the Phoenix, I'm getting Scorpio. I'm getting someone who doesn't mind getting rid of everything to start over again. If it benefits you and if you know it's going to be rebuilt in a way that benefits everybody or that's going to be better than it was before, you probably don't mind starting all over again. Because you know when you restart something, you clear the energies from before, you are able to build a much more positive space for you. Because your atmosphere and your environment are very important to you, Pile 2. Sacred River. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yangtze? Yangtze? When we were studying the rivers in China in school, they would say Yangtze, but I don't like how that sounds. Oh, an American education is something else, let me tell you. I also am getting the feeling that you may be the child of immigrants. If this resonates, I'll take that. If not, you can leave that. But I am too, and you probably are always like criticizing like your environment now compared to the environment where either you grew up with or that your family grew up with. So maybe you're having to bring those two together and just compare and contrast, because I know I grew up with that. Let's see. The river Yangtze eternally flows and changes. You also had the river in the very first set of oracles. Maybe rivers are important to you. Just as the river flows and changes course, you too are evolving in your divine path. Veils and sheaths that once covered your soul light are being washed away. Cleansing by sacred water specifically indicates that your emotional life and your life direction are being purified and healed. You are growing and changing, and soon your life circumstances will reflect your inner evolution. So if you don't already live near a body of water, I'm getting a sense that rivers are very important to you. Maybe you come from, again, I'm thinking of Black Panther, where they have a river tribe. Maybe rivers are very important to your background. Maybe your family or your ancestors grew up around rivers, and it would probably benefit you to also be near rivers. Maybe go on a camping trip, or if not a camping trip, maybe just being near bodies of water that flow would really help you. So the ocean, the beach, anywhere where the water is moving. I'm not getting lakes so much because I don't think lakes don't really have water that moves. It's still water, but beaches, rivers, or maybe living near these spaces is really beneficial to you. Like it may really help you be in tune with your energy, with your divine power. And yeah, that is all I have for you today, pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me be in this energy. You are such an amazing person, and I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings. And if any of this resonated, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the emerald and this beautiful landscape portrait of a mountain that I painted, we have your reading here for you today about what your psychic abilities are. We have some oracles to see what it is, what you were naturally born with, what gifts you may have had naturally, as well as potential gifts or abilities that you can develop. If any of what this says doesn't resonate with you, we do have 3 other piles, but I encourage you to have an open mind and maybe explore something you never thought to try before, and just have some fun with it. We're going to start with the underworld. Ooh. Bear, Druid, hold the space. Healing the heart, power of self-love. Magnolia, Jupiter, abundance. And our ritual cards, South, challenge, endurance, overcoming. And Rainbow Moonstone, divine feminine, mystery, wisdom. I'm hearing that you're a channeler. I haven't even looked at the cards that deeply, but I'm hearing that you are a channeler. Just because of this word wisdom. And you are wise beyond your years. That's what I'm getting from the Druid. With the underworld, you probably see through people. I'm getting a sense that you have a very high intuition, pile 3. And it's also very grounded because your messages are coming through kind of strong. But you are able to see through people and through situations. You have that ability when you meet somebody, you know exactly what they are about. And this is both a blessing and a curse. Because you know, you can see through the mask that they try to put up. You can see through whatever it is that they're trying to present, whether it's legitimate or not, whether you can trust it or not. And some people may not like you for this very reason. That's what I'm getting from the underworld. I'm also getting, of course, Pluto vibes, Scorpio vibes. And it's a very intense energy. Again, you may have a polarizing effect on people, but you kind of don't let it get to you. It's kind of like this bear. Like, it can look soft and cuddly, but really, it's one that's not to be messed with. You may also live somewhere where bears reside. Like, I'm thinking of the mountains here in the US where they do have black bears. But I'm also thinking of grizzly bears where they look cute, but if you mess with them, they can really mess you up. They can mess you up back pretty bad. With Druid, hold the space. You bring about a very calming energy, pile 3. You're very grounded. Healing the heart, the power of self-love. So because of your ability and because of how polarizing it is to people, you may have a hard time accepting yourself, maybe because you know that you see through people. You can see at the heart of what they are, but they don't like that. So sometimes when we don't believe the illusion that people present to us, they can really resent us and dislike us. So and you've probably been this way since you were very young, pile 3. So because of this, you've probably gained a sense of not liking yourself, and that's unfortunate because this is an amazing power to have. So you really had to work on that heart chakra, that heart space, on accepting yourself, At some point, you may have denied your abilities because you realized that people did not like them. They wanted you to believe the lies that they told you. But I'm getting the sense that you are either in the process of, or you will, or you have. At some point in your life, you are going to overcome this and accept your intuitive abilities again. This ability to see through people is something that is so profound. It will help you in your life so much. It is a protective energy. It's a, not, I don't want to say defense mechanism, but it's definitely a power you have to better live your life. With Jupiter, you may have a very strong Jupiter placement. You may also be a Sagittarius or a Pisces. With abundance, you probably make quite a bit of money. If not, you come about material wealth very easily. But yeah, with South's challenge, endurance, and overcoming, as I said, you've probably had to really come to terms, come to some kind of acceptance of this skill you have to see through people. Because bears live in caves. Maybe and they hibernate. Maybe there was a period of hibernation for you where you kind of hid away because you realized that this skill you have was making people angry. It upset them because they couldn't tell you, they couldn't live out whatever it is they wanted to present with you around. So of course they're not going to like that, but who cares? Because at the end of the day, what matters is the truth. With Rainbow Moonstone, Divine Feminine, Mystery, Wisdom. Yeah, you have a lot of wisdom. This is such beautiful, intense energy. And what I'm really feeling is that you may need to tap into your Divine Feminine, maybe your soft side, the side that really embraces you. It's funny because there was some heart chakra stuff going on in the first pile as well, but it was nowhere near this. You're probably still in the middle of it. You're probably still working on this, and that's okay. You're allowed to come at whatever part of your journey you are on, and you are allowed to be loved at whatever part of your journey you are on. If you're learning to love yourself, people are still allowed to love you, and I'm sending you so much love, pile 3, because I understand what that feels like. I'm going to call out the numbers really quick in case numbers are of importance to you. Is that maybe this one? I want to say this is 58. Is L 40? Or I suck at my Roman numerals, so I am sorry, but that's XLVIII. 27, 8, and 23. I'm gonna read up on the magnolia. I have a magnolia outside my house, by the way, and what I know about them is that they are what's it called? They're green. They're evergreens. They lose their leaves, but they don't shrivel up and turn brown in the winter. They're still vivid and green, and it's just such a beautiful tree. I have one outside my house, and I love it. Their roots don't go down; they go out, so they kind of stay just a little bit at the ground level, and they spread out, which is funny because while the bear hibernates, the magnolia really doesn't. It blooms in May. I think that's when I saw the bloom. June or May. Around here it was June. Yeah, I want to say end of May and all of June. It had these beautiful white blooms. And it is such a beautiful tree. I know it's native to where I live right now, which is the American Southeast. And that's actually pretty close to where we have mountains not too far from here. The Smokies specifically. But let me read up on the magnolia. I have a feeling the magnolia tree is of some significance to you. Pile 3. When magnolias bloom, the flower comes out long before the leaves do. This miraculous flowering gives them an advantage over other plants which are still busy putting out their first leaves, but only because it's possible as a result of careful preparation the season before that allows them to beat the trend. If you want to be one step ahead of others, it may not be possible immediately. But now is a good time to prepare for the next season and make sure that you have everything you need to be the first to blossom. So yeah, because you have this innate skill to see through people, Spirit is calling you to take advantage of this. You are blooming when others are not. because you're able to see through not just people, but through situations. Maybe sometimes you'll see the news and know right away what is going on. Maybe if there's an ulterior motive to something, you spot it right away. I'm also getting the sense of a lot of suspicious energy and untrusting energy. And that distrust comes from the heart. So this explains why you really need to work on the heart, pile 3. Not just to love yourself and others, but to learn how to just really be open to receiving that which is great about the world. I'm really getting a sense that you may have shut yourself off, because these 2 cards are really giving me hermit energy. But Spirit is asking you to call back your power and to really step into the sunshine, into the spotlight, because there's a wealth of amazing things waiting for you. Just in general, in your life, but also I don't get the sense that you are thinking about using your skills to better your life, but you possibly could. Say you're in a work situation and you can see through something, or maybe you have such a strong intuition that you can tell right away what's going to happen. Use these skills to really get yourself ahead, because nobody is going to look out for you as much as you are for yourself. I'm not saying that people can't help you, but perhaps in healing your heart space, you're able to better see who is on your side and who isn't. Even if they are lying, you may be able to tell when they're lying for your benefit. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're really making you seem like this thing that you may not be, but if they know it's going to get you through the door to do something better, allow it to happen. Because I get the sense that honesty is very important to you, but you may be in an environment where you kind of have to, unfortunately, manipulate the situation in such a way that it gets you ahead. It might as well just be your environment that is just not healthy for you, pile 3. And if so, Spirit is calling you to really seek something better. Let's move on to your tarot, because I would like to see how else you could develop, and maybe anything else that you could potentially look into developing. Jupiter is I should have said this before. Jupiter is a planet of expansion and spirituality, as much as abundance and partying and all that. So I really get the sense that you are the expansive spiritual type when it comes to that Jupiter energy you may have. So we're gonna look at the tarot and then clarify with Modern Witch Tarot. We have the King of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, Judgment. That's such an appropriate card. Temperance and the Moon. Okay. And then let me clarify it before I start, because I'm already seeing so much. Alright, I'm gonna have to... We have the Moon again. So yeah, you're very much in your Divine Feminine, pile 3. In your intuitive feminine. 10 of Pentacles again. Okay, so maybe there are some work situations that are making you really hone in on this skill. The Devil. Okay, lots of nudity here. Like, YouTube does not allow that, so I have to block it. I may just not have to use this tarot anymore. Lots of butts. 4 of Wands. Ace of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles. So I'm getting the sense that where you use this ability the most is a work situation, because Pentacles is money. It could also be health, but in this case I really get the sense that it's money. So work. You have the potential to make a lot of money with this ability. Specifically, if you learn how to use it properly, I'm getting the sense that you can read people very well, not just see through the mask that they put on, but also just read people very intuitively and know what they are about. With the King of Swords and the Moon, you're actually able to communicate this very well. You may be a tarot reader as well, or you may do Reiki, you may do some kind of spiritual personal coaching. This would all benefit you, and you actually have the potential to... Sorry for the skip, pile 3. I ran out of space on my phone. But like I was saying, you have the potential to make a lot of money with this intuitive ability that you have. We're going to start over here. No, we already did this. With the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, there may have been a point in your life where you were struggling financially, but you're going to get the sense that, or you're going to get the inclination to start some sort of business that uses this ability to see through people. Maybe you have a much more powerful intuition. I'm sorry, I cannot speak. But I get the sense that you're going to have a lot of more intuitive hints to really push forward a more a business or a practice that really benefits you, because this work situation you are in is not benefiting you anymore, or you're surrounded by such negativity, and maybe this is why you're seeing through people. Maybe this environment has caused you to really take note of what is going on around you. So we're going to come out of this space of lack and go into a space of abundance. You did have Jupiter in your oracles. Moving on to the Ten of Pentacles, you have it twice, so this is guaranteed that you will be provided for. With the Devil, again, you're just being surrounded by negativity. You're being surrounded by people who are just full of vice, and you can see through that. You can see all the negativity that they do. You can see all the addictions, all the unhealthy patterns that they have. Maybe you can help them to heal this aspect of themselves, because you can read people so well. I know there are people out there who help people with addiction. Like if they have some sort of addiction or a drug or alcohol problem, they can help them get rid of this, maybe through hypnotism. I know that's been used. You may be a good hypnotizer. Pile 3, that could be something you can look into. With Judgment, yeah, I get the sense that you have a great judge of character, obviously, but I'm also looking at this little mouse looking up at the sun. Spirit is really calling you to draw in the light and to cleanse yourself of negative energies, because it is it's easy to absorb these negative energies when we're looking at them in the face, which is what you probably do. And you will just come out having such a brighter way of looking at things, because look at all these cards. They're a little bit dark, even this Ten of Pentacles here. What you want to do is live in this space of light and feeling free, and not just light in that it's bright, but light in that you feel not so weighed down and not so heavy by the energies that surround you. I'm also looking at this little mountaintop, and I noticed that you had the bear, and you also chose the watercolor painting that is a mountain. So yeah, I get the sense that mountains are pretty important to you. Maybe you live up in the mountains, maybe you love the mountains. I do too. So yeah, maybe the mountains are very cleansing for you. Maybe they help you rejuvenate and ground your energy. With the Temperance here, you really need to learn how to balance out these energies, the light and the dark, because we all have a little bit of darkness in us. It's what helps us protect ourselves and what helps us really stand in our power of what we're going to put up with and what we're not going to put up with. And in this case, it's lies. In this case, it's dishonesty and not being open and honest about how people are. And when you do this, you will come into new ideas, new abundance, just a new energy, a new light. I know this is Pentacles, but I'm looking at this light and you're really being called to it, to live in it a lot more. With the Moon and the Page of Pentacles here, you're going to learn to tap into your intuition in new ways that you did not know you could. Like, you probably already knew you had some intuition. You knew that you had some sort of gift, but you're going to be inspired to look at it differently and really run with it. And this is going to benefit you, not just financially, but in all aspects of your life. I'm looking at the moons here because, yes, you're intuitive. You're working with maybe doing some shadow work, looking at yourself. But this moon looks very, not the happiest. They look a little upset, and they're surrounded by these people with masks on. So dishonesty, and there's even some shady stuff lurking out here. Again, working with shadow work. And again, there's mountains back here. Maybe you're tired of the mountains even though you're from there. I don't know. But you want to be more like this moon who's out here in outer space, looking happy with a little winky face and in this lovelier energy. They're the same card, but look how differently they are interpreted. And this is why I like to look at more than one tarot deck, because everybody has their ways of interpreting these symbols. And maybe you are also learning to interpret the things that people present as something else. Maybe you're not just looking through it through a quote lie. Maybe you're trying to see it as, well, why are they presenting themselves like this? What is their motive? This is a very lovely energy to have. You probably would do well as a psychologist or a therapist or anybody who helps heal people, especially when they have problems. When we draw negativity or negative people to ourselves, it's not because we're low vibration. It could be, but it could also be because they need healing. And that was something I had to really learn, because I thought, well, if I'm drawing negative people to myself, am I being negative? No, it's because they know you're a healer. So of course they're going to be that moth drawn to a flame. It's that kind of thing. They know that you can help them, even if you don't feel like you can. And I know I've been in that where like, well, I don't know how to help you. Like but the potential is very much there, because if even these low vibration people can sense it, then, you know, then it's got to be there, you know? Anything else I'm picking up on? Signs. We have Cancer. You may have a very strong moon, or you may be a Cancer. Capricorn with the devil, which is the opposite of Cancer. So you may have been born on a full moon, or full moons are important to you, or just the phases of the moon in general. I don't remember what Judgment is. I want to say Pisces or Scorpio, because it's that sense of finality. And Temperance, I want to say was Sagittarius. I know the tarot and the signs that they resonate with don't really make sense to me. I just take the ones that do. You may have a lot of earth in your chart, so very grounded energy, definitely very grounded. And that is all I have for your tarot pile 3. But definitely really look into that energetic cleansing, that meditating in light. You need to balance out that space of being, because you see so much negativity, you need to really immerse yourself in a lighter, healthier, energetic space. Spirit is calling you to do this. We're gonna use the Universe Has Your Back Oracle cards for any messages, any last messages or advice Spirit has to give you. We have My Fearless Freedom Lights Up the World. Yes, I get the sense you're very much the light in this dark. And I surrender to a power greater than me. By the way, the whole time that I've been channeling for this pile, I've been speaking in a weird way, so you might have a distinct accent. Let me know if you do, at least for your area, or I don't know, but I'm having it. My mouth is moving in different ways. And I've noticed that in a lot of my channeling in these piles, I just speak differently. But we're going to use the Kuan Yin Oracle. And Kuan Yin is the goddess of mercy and compassion. We have the Dance Unveiling. This came out in pile 1, so if you recall to that one, you may want to go look at that as well. And I actually have this as my phone background. I love this image. And 8 Immortals. Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure this is a myth or something. I'm going to read up on it to better give you guidance. But yeah, you are surrendering to your gift in a way that is going to benefit everybody, those around you. You're going to light up the world a lot more. And with Dance of the Unveiling, you might be called to do some yoga or any kind of physical healing, or anything that gets you in a good space. I know yoga helped me a lot to channel light whenever I thought I couldn't. Like when I couldn't call it down on my own, I would do some yoga and I would feel very, very light and airy, very healed. So let's look at 8 immortals, which is funny because the number underneath it is 9. I guess it's 8 plus Kuan Yin. So the messages you have been receiving that are unconditionally loving, fearless, and encouraging of you to grow and be your true self are from your higher guidance. The 8 immortals and other beings of divine light and divine love are guiding you. It is safe to follow these messages now. Doing so will bring you greater joy. Yeah, because when I started this reading, I had a very strong presence. So your guides are very much with you, your ancestors, whatever you want to call it, your spiritual team is with you, and you may be able to hear them. You are very divinely protected, and yeah, they're probably the ones telling you what's going on with certain people, and you may not be aware of it. They come to you sometimes in urgent ways when you may be in perceived danger, or some of them come in very gently and very calmly. I think do meditation, because I am receiving this card to be meditation, whether it's through movement or through just sitting yourself alone and being in light. You are going to really tap into this power you have, Pile 3. And it's very beautiful. It very much feels like you are unfolding and you click this reading because you really want to further develop this intuition that you know you have, and were maybe fearful of playing with it. And really do go into this with a sense of love and with a sense of playfulness. Sometimes when we're in this happy, loving, joyous energy, it's easier to tap into our intuition and to really get the best messages from spirit. It's something I've had to learn because I have sisters, and when we get together, we're always super joyous and we're very happy. We have a lot of fun together, and we were not always this way. Now that we live apart from each other, I think it's better. But we're all so intuitive, all 3 of us. And I don't know why I'm bringing this up. Maybe you have siblings or friends that get you in this energy. But I will say some things just out of nowhere, and I'm like, where did that come from? And I'm like, it must be my intuition sending me messages, because I'm in this space of having fun with my sisters, and I'm able to actually give them better advice as well, or at least I hope I am. They've never told me otherwise. But yeah, get into that energy of joy and love and surrendering, not as in giving up, but as in letting spirit take the wheel, essentially. With the 8 immortals, again, you're seeing through, I'm taking this another way, is you seeing through people, and these are all the people you're seeing through, and you just feel different. You know, you're probably a bit of a loner, but that's okay, because you shine brightly in a sea of negativity. I'm actually getting that from all of these cards. And that is all I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I wish you nothing but blessings and the best, and I really hope something in this reading resonated with you. Let me know in the comments if it did, and if you feel like doing so, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hey there, Pile 4. If you chose the clear quartz point with this, it's supposed to be a peony. I painted this, so if it looks weird, that's because I did it myself and I'm new at this. But this is your reading to see what your psychic abilities are. We're going to start with some oracles to see what you were naturally born with, what gifts you may already have, and what you could potentially tap into and develop in your life to have fun with. And if this doesn't resonate, there are 3 other piles, but I encourage you to have a very open mind, to maybe have some fun with this, and maybe try out some things you've never tried before, or at the very least, explore your powers. So we're going to start with the Unseen. I've never seen this card. I guess that's why it's called the Unseen. I've never seen that card in this oracle deck. A frog. I get this card a lot in my readings. I don't know if I have some people who love frogs that are clicking these videos. Wise One. Grow within your current situation. Brilliant beliefs. Luminous life force, personal power. Oh, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Aconite? Aconite. It's interesting. It says 45 and 46. And they're two different decks. We also have 12th house, introspection. And selenite, perception, spirit, light. Algaes. Algaes? Guardianship, security, higher self. Okay, pile 4. So you've been doing this quite a while. You have several sets of intuitive abilities already. And let me see if I can spell these out. You can see through people. You're good at seeing into different realms, into different states of being. So you can see people's auras. You can see their energy or feel it. You are good at cleansing energy with the frog because in this card, specifically from this deck, this rain is supposed to be cleansing the toxins of this frog. So you're probably an energy healer. With the wise one, you are good at tapping into your intuition. We have two very wise birds here. So you're probably very wise for your age, or you may already be, you may be 45, 46, 50. You may be at later stages in life. But you are full of wisdom, and people come to you for advice with brilliant beliefs, luminous life force, personal power. You've had to learn how to really be in your power, and you express all these abilities very confidently. Pile 4 with Aconite. I'm gonna have to read up on this because I'm not exactly sure what that is, but this is giving me Aries vibes because it kind of looks like a ram. It's probably an antelope. But just by looking at it, it's like you vanquish demons or you vanquish negative energies. With the 12th house, you probably have a very strong 12th house because the 12th house has been known as being the house of like hidden illnesses or something like that. Or it's gotten a bad rep over the years. Or rep. It's been negatively seen, and I take that a little personally because I have a lot of important things in the 12th house. But you are very introspective, and 12th house energy actually helps us really master these things that were once weaknesses. So I get the sense that you've had to master a lot. So I don't know if you just clicked this reading to see if I could guess what it is that you do, because it looks like you do quite a bit. You're kind of a jack of all trades. Well, no, because you are also a master of all trades. I am getting the magician energy right now, so we'll see if that comes up in the tarot. With selenite, you are very much in your crown chakra. You probably have a lot of selenite around you. I know I do. Here it is. There's Taurus here, which is funny because I would not associate Taurus to selenite, but you might be a Taurus. I am as well. With algae, guardianship, security, and higher self, you're very much tapped into your higher self. But I'm also looking at this, at the root itself, and it looks like you've taken multiple paths to get to where you are. You've probably learned your abilities in so many different ways. You've probably taken a lot of I'm hearing mentorships. You've probably taken a lot of classes. You've probably just really developed like everything. And it wouldn't surprise me if you also do tarot, if you also do channeling, if you do pretty much a little bit of everything. So whether you actually are at these ages, you at the very least come off as a lot older than you are because of this, because of your wisdom, because of your guidance. And people come to you. You probably already have a profession in this. I'm getting that just because of how confident you are in your abilities. This is interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna have to tell you to develop anything, pile 4, because it looks like you are quite a powerhouse, and you could actually be, I don't want to say a household name, but you probably already have an established business and an established clientele. If not, you definitely could, because you are good at it all. Just numbers that are popping up: 27, 45, I already said 45, 46, 50. Let me read up on the aconite really quickly, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this camera because it's been shutting off on me. I'm still very new to recording videos and YouTube, so thank you for your patience. I learn as I go. So, aconite. Oh, I had it, then it left. I wonder how long it took you to develop all this, because I don't know what it is exactly you were born with. It looks like you just always had an interest and decided to take up everything and anything that would help you be in this psychic energy. You probably have always thought psychics were pretty cool, so you wanted to be one. Aconite is a scholar's plant, always hungry for knowledge and the power that comes with learning. That's funny, because I was just talking about that before I even read up, before I flipped this page open. Through its wisdom, it turned the maiden Arachne into a spider and taught the first werewolves the power of transformation. You've made it as far as you can with the expertise you already possess. Now it's time to assess the gaps in your knowledge and focus on filling them in. A new class, hobby, or experience will be a rewarding opportunity for you to further yourself and become a wiser you. That's funny. I feel like you never stop learning. So even if you reach quote quote if you've mastered something, you feel like you're just never done learning. You are the eternal student. And I love this card for you, pile 4. This is exactly what I was just telling you about before I even knew what this had to do with anything. Athena might be a goddess of you, because you probably do work with goddesses and all kinds of deities. I get the sense you probably are okay with all spirituality and all religions, as long as they are in their higher and best power to empower people and bring them into a good divine space. And with werewolves, you may work with the moon. And we do have selenite here, which is, named after Selene, the moon, because it looks like it's glowing. But damn, pile 4, you are such an amazing kick-ass person, and I kind of wish I knew you, or I would definitely study under you. Just some colors. I'm getting a lot of blue, so you definitely have that developed throat chakra, but it's dark, so it's grounded. This is this lovely purpley, this mauve purple, so a lot of third eye chakra. And then of course this alignment. You probably have very aligned chakras. I feel like you just worked with everything, but you're always learning new things. You've mastered quite a few. I don't know, you're a pretty kick-ass person, pile 4. So let's see if the tarot has anything else to tell you. Because all I can say is keep doing what you do. The world needs more of you, that's for sure. And I really love your energy. You feel like a very fun person. You're probably very open to a lot of things that other people aren't. All right, pile 4's tarot. We have 4 of Cups, the Tower, the Hangman, the King of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. There's that scholarly energy, and again with the owls. To clarify this tarot, we're going to use the Modern Witch Tarot, and hopefully I don't get a lot of nudity. I forget how much nudity is in this deck, but so is the Rider-Waite. We have the 10 of Pentacles for the 4 of Cups. Ace of Wands for the Tower, 5 of Cups for the Hanged Man, Strength for the King of Cups, and the Magician. I feel like Strength has come up in all these readings. So I feel like everybody is just honing in on their intuitive abilities, and this is beautiful. But yeah, what did I say about the Magician? I had a feeling it was going to show up one way or another in this reading. Because you're very much the Magician. And always willing to learn new ways of honing in on your power. The yellow is really sticking out at me. You probably have amazing confidence in your ability. And that's probably why you're able to really channel these abilities so well. If you don't already make a lot of money with this, I'm kind of surprised. Or you may not be seeing it. We do have the 4 of Cups here who likes to just not see what is in front of them, like this cup that could bring them. There's actually jewels in this cup. So this cup that could bring them a lot of abundance, a lot of work, a lot of money. They're just not looking at it, and they're looking here. So if for whatever reason you still are in this energy of you can't make money as an intuitive guide or as an energy healer, whatever it is you do, because you do a lot, there's a lot of abundance and money here for you. There's some financial stability here for you. And this is a beautiful gift to have, pile 4. With the Tower moment, something tells me either you are used to Tower moments, or you came about each ability through something that happened in your life that was a bit unexpected. Like, you did not let that bring you down. You let it give you inspiration to go forward and really, really do new things. With the Hangman and the 5 of Cups, these two give me similar energies where you're just not seeing what's in front of you and really dwelling on the negativity. So maybe at some point you were in that and you wanted to get yourself out of it. So maybe you turned to spirituality and spiritual practices, intuitive practices, to gain a new perspective on things, or to just switch your life around. Again, we have the froggy. Maybe frogs are important to you, as well as owls. With the King of Cups here and the Strength, you've really learned to love yourself and have compassion for humanity through these abilities. And at some point, I feel like you weren't. It was probably when you were in this 4 and 5 of Cups and Tower energy where you kind of thought negatively of others or the world, or just felt desolated. I don't know why that word's coming to me. But you've learned to find strength in your healing, and it's made you such a better person, pile 4. I have so much respect for you. This is such lovely energy. And yeah, like I said, you are always learning. You're so full of wisdom. I'm also noting there's a sword here that this owl is on, and there's a sword here. So it's almost like your guides, maybe one of your guides is an owl, or is a very wise guide. They come and give you they show you these gifts, and you put them to good use. Because just, I mean, look at her in her power. Look at her in this beautiful garden. And I do love that it's a garden, because you've grown. Not only have you grown, but you've grown the tools necessary to get you to where you are, so that you can develop as a person, as a healer, and as a voice for a lot of people. And this is such beautiful energy, pile 4. I have so much respect for you. I'm not exactly sure how else you can develop your skills, because it looks like you already do. You, and I kind of hate leaving you without any good words of advice. I feel like I'm just really gassing you up and letting you know that you're awesome and doing a great job. But anytime you have that inkling to follow, anytime something bad happens, anytime you need to shift your perspective, you decide you're going to take up a new class. Even if it's something you already know, you're like, well, a refresher couldn't, hurt. So, for example, maybe you've been a yoga instructor. I have as well. That could be something else you've done. And you decide, well, I'm going to do a yoga retreat with this other person and see what I can learn from them. You're very much that kind of individual. Or maybe you see, maybe you have years of experience in tarot, but you decide, I'm going to do a tarot class to see what else I can learn. You are very much into learning new things. And again, if you don't already have your own practice, your own website, your own business where you do a little bit of everything, then I would really encourage you to do that. That's really the main advice that Spirit wants to give you. Maybe you've already had this nudge towards it, but this is just confirmation that, put your name out there, put yourself out there, because people need healers and teachers like you. What else am I getting from the tarot? Yeah, I feel like in your younger years, or when you were a child, you very much never wanted to look around your surroundings. Maybe you came from a very, not the healthiest background, not the healthiest environment, but it's allowed you to, you look back on yourself and you think, I've come so far. I am such a different person now. I have so much more confidence and love for myself. And this is very beautiful, pile 4. And this energy I'm in is just so sure. It's very grounded and very sure of itself. I kind of wish you would impart some of that confidence on me, because I don't know if you've seen, but I just started this channel and I do not know what I am doing sometimes, but I have fun with it. And maybe this is what you do as well. Maybe you just have fun with the things you learn and the things you want to do. But let's get into some advice cards to see what else Spirit has to tell you. Besides, keep going, you're doing great, and you're amazing. All right, so messages for pile 4. We have, I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. Yeah, you probably embody this, and you probably already know this. And you're such a bright light in the darkness to everybody, and you have a very strong third eye, pile 4. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. Yeah, I was getting that with the tower. And you probably also have the ability to do this for others, or at the very least inspire them or teach them to do so. And then with the Kuan Yin Oracle, Kuan Yin is the goddess of mercy and compassion. Let's see what she's got to tell us. We have spin the silken thread divine. You may do some kind of fiber art, maybe crochet, knitting, tatting, macrame. I'm also noticing like these moons and everything. Maybe you abide a lot by the moon, pile 4. And nectar of the lotus, which I'm going to have to censor because here at YouTube we do not like to see nudity. And I'm going to read up on Nectar of the Lotus. The numbers here are 30 and 20. Maybe I get the sense that decades hold significance for you. Maybe every decade of your life you learned something new or was its own journey. Or maybe every decade you decided to take up something new and really master it. Because you did have 50 in the oracles, and here we have 30, 20. Also with spin the silken thread divine, I'm getting the fates, like they have the threads of fate, so that you may just be able to look into people's into their fate. You may just be able to pick out things that you know they will go through, so you're better able to help them through their journey. But let me read up on the Nectar of the Lotus. Okay, Nectar of the Lotus. The Divine Mother wishes that those who are meant to feed others be well fed too. Your devotion to helping others has the effect of squeezing the cosmic heart chakra of the Divine Mother. From her heart drips nectar, sweet, sustaining, life-affirming energy that feeds you and allows you to nourish many souls. Like a sacred chalice that overflows when you are full, well and vital, the feeding of others happens effortlessly. You are guided to be fed now, fed with divine nectar from the heart of the Mother. So yeah, if you're not already using your abilities to help others, Spirit is telling you to go ahead and do so, and you will be very well compensated, and abundance will flow to you, and just in general, your life will flourish for the better. If you don't already do so, I get the sense you probably already do, or maybe you've clicked this reading to see what else you can learn, but the truth is you have enough knowledge and power to go ahead and do so. Pile 4. This is such lovely grounding energy, and honestly it's very inspirational. I really hope to be like you one day. But yeah, you are just such a light in people's lives, and you have so much power and so much to give. And I get the sense that you didn't always start out that way, but you know what? That's fine, because this is how we learn. This is how we inspire others, by telling our stories and letting them know how we used to be before we got to where we are. You're very in tune with Spirit. You very much, I especially love this. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing. You are just an all-around healer. And it's probably in every fiber of your being. And Spirit is just thanking you so much for this. And they are so proud. They are so grateful for somebody like you. The world needs more of you, Pile 4. And you continue to do whatever it is you do, because there are people that are so grateful for you. There are there are people that need you, and you're just going to change this world for the better. And that is all I have for you today, my beautiful pile 4. If any of this resonated, please leave a comment below. You feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Much love and many blessings.